Jerusalem woke up today to something that sounds less like a news headline and more like the final page of a prophecy. And if you blink, you might miss just how surreal this moment feels. Witnesses are claiming that Jesus and what appeared to be angels manifested over the Mount of Olives, sending shockwaves through the city and across social media. Yes, you heard that right. Not a festival, not a projection, not a rumor whispered in alleyways. People are saying they saw a radiant figure surrounded by luminous forms hovering over one of the most historically charged locations on Earth. And before you dismiss it as another viral hoax, listen closely, because what unfolded next is what has everyone leaning in and saying, "Wait, what?" According to early accounts, the sky over Jerusalem shifted just after sunrise. The air reportedly felt heavy, almost electric, like the calm before a thunderstorm. Except there were no clouds. Pilgrims, tourists, and locals say a sudden brilliance appeared above the Mount of Olives, bright enough to command attention, but not blinding. Several witnesses describe a central, glowing figure, human in shape, radiating what they called an overwhelming sense of peace. Around this figure were smaller streaks of light, moving in synchronized patterns. And that's when the whispers started. Angels, someone reportedly said. Within minutes, phones were out, live streams exploded, social feeds ignited. Jerusalem, a city used to history, suddenly felt like it was standing inside it. One tourist compared the moment to watching the sky open in high definition, while another said the silence that fell over the crowd was louder than any noise. Imagine Times Square going completely quiet. That's the kind of stillness witnesses claim took hold. And here's where the suspense thickens. Several recordings circulating online show an unusual formation of light lingering for nearly 3 minutes, not flickering, not drifting, holding position, as if waiting. People began to gather, some kneeling, others crying, others frozen in disbelief. A local shop owner said customers stopped mid-conversation and walked outside without speaking, drawn by what he described as a presence you could feel before you even looked up. Authorities have not confirmed the supernatural claims, but they do acknowledge an unexplained aerial light phenomenon that drew massive attention. Officials are urging calm, while analysts review footage for signs of drones, atmospheric reflections, or projection technology. Skeptics argue the visuals resemble advanced holographic displays or lens distortions amplified by sunrise conditions. Yet even seasoned videographers admit the footage is unusual. The light appears layered, dimensional, almost textured. And this is where the narrative takes another turn. Witnesses insist the emotional impact was the most convincing part. Many describe a sudden wave of calm, clarity, or awe that hit simultaneously across the crowd. One woman said it felt like every anxious thought just stopped talking. A man visiting from abroad claimed he felt compelled to forgive someone he hadn't spoken to in years. Right there, on the street. Whether psychological, spiritual, or coincidental, the shared emotional response is fueling debate just as much as the visuals themselves. Religious leaders are urging thoughtful reflection rather than immediate conclusions. Some Christian commentators are calling it a reminder of prophetic imagery tied to the Mount of Olives, while others caution against declaring miracles without verification. Meanwhile, scientists are pointing to rare atmospheric optical effects that can create structured light illusions, especially when sunlight interacts with airborne particles. But here's the cliffhanger that has people glued to their screens. Multiple witnesses insist that just before the light faded, the central figure appeared to extend outward, not moving exactly, but expanding, like a ripple in the air. Then as quickly as it appeared, it was gone. No explosion, no dramatic exit, just absence. The sky returned to normal, but the crowd did not. Conversations erupted, tears flowed, laughter, disbelief, prayers, all at once. It was as if the city collectively exhaled after holding its breath. And now, Jerusalem sits at the center of a global conversation that blends faith, science, psychology, and the power of shared human experience. Analysts are combing through every frame of video. Theologians are revisiting ancient texts. Skeptics are sharpening their arguments. Believers are calling it a sign. And millions watching from afar are asking the same question. What did people really see over the Mount of Olives today? Whether this turns out to be an extraordinary natural phenomenon, a technological illusion, or something that challenges our understanding of perception itself, one thing is undeniable. For a few electrifying minutes, a city steeped in history felt suspended between heaven and earth. And the story isn't over. Investigations are ongoing. More footage is emerging. Experts are weighing in hour by hour. But the emotional imprint of this moment is already written into the memories of those who were there. They didn't just see something, they felt something. And in a world flooded with noise, that collective pause, that moment of shared awe, might be the most powerful detail of all. Stay with us, because if today proved anything, it's that sometimes reality delivers scenes stranger, bigger, and more suspenseful than fiction. And when it does, the whole world looks up together.